Hey, what's going on? I appreciate you for being here. As you see behind me, a quote which I am fortunate to share with you on behalf of the influence of my students, at least students in the classes that I have attended on behalf of substitute teaching. There's so much good that comes from this moment. Latitude of gratitude is based on our attitude, and my appreciation for them and others along the way, it's a reminder of how much healing can happen throughout life. And so, even though this quote is amazing and I will use it as the thumbnail, it's the concept of what this additionally provides us in life. It is only fair for us to embrace this day as it is the only one we have. Something fascinating that I may not have always considered, yet it has shown itself worthy on display through substitute teaching, is that of gentleness. This is a laptop, one where I received 2021 for Christmas from a close friend. How that laptop has helped me accomplish more than I may have been able to prior if it wasn't for all the ways that I professionally purposed it, even to this day now, which is magnificent. What I realized though is if I was not gentle with the technology, I would not have it for much longer than what was likely to be expected. As I look back, it makes me think about me being gentle and why there is intrinsic value that is not often noted when learning the concept of gentleness. It is understandable to perceive gentleness in terms of physicality. However, like my tone is the level where it is the best way of communicating with you for the technology we have here and now. And with the grace of being in this moment and sharing this message with you, it's a fact of why this life is worth additionally living. If when asked, can I use the force, I got you right here. So here is metacognition in a way that you may not have considered prior. Just like this quote here, latitude of gratitude is based on our attitude, is the fact that that opportunity for me to have that synapse connection, if it wasn't for the reconciliation that happened through substitute teaching, middle school and high school, all the things in which I learned about my life since looking back since then, and how 9 years of college, even though I didn't anticipate that in the beginning, would further heal parts of my life that I didn't realize were as necessary until later on as I was further progressing throughout adulthood. And so, for the things that I've learned throughout adulthood, it's a reminder of why it would best serve others. As I say, the best way for us to pay homage to our lineage is to breaking chains of generational pain, is the grace of getting the message out. As I was subbing for a world language class recently, what I realized was how there are multiple languages in hopes of getting out the same message. And for the fact that we live in a technological era, how easy it is to take a message, translate it, and then just share it onwards to others in the world, just on behalf of us being human beings. That's why I always promote the value of writing. You give yourself a chance to write, there's so much more you can additionally accomplish. This video itself is something where I'm trying to take into account more of the comments and questions, if applicable, that I could further respond to. As I've noted, somehow, even though I have playback chat on, I'm not able to read it or see it after the live video. So I try my best now to attend to the comments provided throughout the video in hopes of attending to them sooner than never. Just like I was saying, best time to give people their flowers in life is sooner than never. And as I provide this to you, it's the uh, intangibles associated with it that may be of use with your life moving forward somehow, some way. Whatever that may look like for you, I understand, as everybody distinctly lives somewhat of a different life. However, that's not to dismiss the fact for how many people have access to technology with the advancements of software, aka most recently it spoke of artificial intelligence, is a reminder of how we could professionally purpose that in the way in which we get these messages across. It's sharing it widespread so then the widespread population could benefit from it universally. Because we're all human beings at the end of the day. To focus on that of race really is to entertain lower level intelligent conversations. It's the same thing with pettiness. Pettiness is association. It is associated with low intelligence. That's why it's not worth attending to. Any drama, nonsense, toxicity, it's bad business. And the sooner we grasp that concept, the easier it will be with how we make use of technology moving forward. For the fact that we have access to a digital tree of knowledge, it is only fair for us to make use of it somehow, some way that pays the homage to our lineage on behalf of us making use of a resource that they may not have had when they were our age. It's only fair for us to pass it on moving forward. It's something that I wanted to share in a video today, which this live video will serve as, is me sharing the importance of creating a resume. Why a resume is important? Often that's perceived with employment and higher education. However, there's another reason why resumes are important. And I said a little bit about it prior, and it is the intangibles gained along the way. What's cool about this is as if I'm providing you a play-by-play call on the concept being shared with you now. What I love about that is what I share with the students is how within that concept is a formula. If we perceived obstacles as equations, it would be easier to fill whatever variables are necessary when trying to acquire a solution. How you overcome that obstacle, aka equation. And it's similar with a concept. When you walk into a classroom, you know the objective, or the objective may be on the board, or you have some idea of how it is you're going to go about it. And if the lecture is necessary to be provided, then it's only fair for some context to be added to the process. As I shared in a previous video, the laptop concept, so reading between the vertical and horizontal lines. Yet some of these concepts may not have been able to be at the level in which they were, as I said in the start of this video, if it wasn't for substitute teaching. So I got to give credit where the credit is due. And there's so much credit in which I owe them on behalf of all the healing made along the way. And hello everyone, I appreciate you for being here. But getting back to this, why resumes are important. It's all the intangibles gained along the way that remind you at times when you're not feeling the best about yourself. Well, however, when you go look at that resume, it'll remind you of times when you were in a better position than maybe where you are now. And so I could provide you a layout for what would make it a decent resume, but it's important to remind yourself that if you believe, you can achieve. Just like I say, when we believe, we prevail. Without faith, we crumble. And just to know that these things exist on behalf of us existing today is a reminder of why life is worth living. So for the fact that these intangibles gain along the way, you know what I also call this? Sometimes I also call this perseverance. Perseverance is a reminder of adversity that we didn't entirely know we would receive until after the math. After the math is often us processing whatever it is that we had to process in order for us to move forward. It's how much can you be in the present moment and be conscious simultaneously. It's often difficult to achieve that if you're constantly holding on to parts of the past. Sometimes parts of the past don't always help you when it comes to moving forward into the future. The future technically is tomorrow, and for the fact that yesterday's tomorrow is here, to go about that in a fair manner is only right and just to paying our homage to our lineage as much as we can. There's so much good that we can additionally establish at this time of life, and it's only fair you guys give yourselves a chance. That's the beauty to substitute teaching. And in addition, it also provided me this outlet that I was trying to figure out how to provide you along the way. And it took me some time, but I'm grateful to say, praise the Lord, that I'm in this position where I could uplift as much as I can and always strive to leave the world a better place than when I came into it. Now, obviously, I can continue going on, but for now, we're going to leave it at that. Like I said, when we believe, we prevail. Without faith, we crumble. And I appreciate all of you guys for being here. I hope you guys continue to stick around and all the good things that are bound to come. Know that this summer will be one that you thank yourself for all the efforts that you put forth moving forward onwards from today, especially when it comes to setting yourself up for success in the best possible way. So, one activity or one chart that I draw, I have more markers than I'm trying to make do what I have here. Once upon in my life, I had a 8-foot by 4-foot stickable whiteboard, and then I had called off the wedding and ended the engagement. So now I just do what I do with what I have, and then I go from there. This isn't that particular. I don't know about you, but I hope you appreciated that moment of peace as I was putting this together, which is really cool to share this with you. I think I may have done a video on this before, but I feel like this is something that I can stand on daily when it comes to the significance of making progress in our life, especially incremental progress. Incremental progress is more possible now than ever. It just all refers to the amount of compassion, aka patience, we're willing to have with ourselves. What can often happen is some confusion through not knowing what areas of our life we have to be more compassionate about towards, which is fair to kind of attempt to figure out if you're not an adult already. So this right here, these steps are the incremental progress that you make in school to set yourselves up for success for graduation. And then the same is, what are the things that we're doing out of school to set ourselves up for success by the time we graduate? So by the time they graduate, they're the most evolved version of themselves to be the most prepared for adulthood, whatever that may look like for them, whether they going to a college, trade, workforce, military, something. It's the fact that they give themselves a chance. Another thing is the value of the Common App writing essay prompts, which I recommend everybody to check out when they have a chance. Although I didn't anticipate on talking about it in this video, low key, it does refer to people reflecting further on their life, which is complementary of this being Mental Health Awareness Month for men. But that's also an area in which is understandable for women because at the end of the day, we are human. Anyways, getting on to this is a road, as some of the kids called it, a journey. And I was like, you know what, that's fair. And the reason why there's a dotted line is the kids may not have known this, but I explained it to them as well, because this is also part of safety on the road, understanding what the signs around us mean. Dotted line means you can cross over, often found on the highway. But anyways, it's the fact that what are we doing in school that carries over into the center, and then what are we doing out of school that carries over into the center. So then, like I said, by the time they graduate, they're in the they set themselves up in the best possible position to receive as many bountiful opportunities where they can advance in multiple areas in a moral, ethical, and professional manner. That's what matters at the end of the day, is looking out for the youth, because they are the future. Without them, there is no future. What's fascinating is even though this concept is often used for 8th grade onwards to high school, is the fact that this is a reminder of us being human. And just like that Common App website, which I recommend anybody check out, you don't need to have an account to see the question, or they call them writing prompts, but ultimately are just things that are worth asking yourself that you may not have considered prior. I believe I shared a video somewhere about reading that. If I found it right now, I would read it, but I'm sure it's out there somewhere. If I don't have it out there somewhere, I will definitely make a video on that. So I appreciate you for being here as long as you have, and I'll catch you in the next one.